Welcome to ScreenRant. With the dawn of a new Superman era rising, we're looking back at Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice and why it deserves a serious reevaluation.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead.
Zack Snyder's vision takes us beyond the capes and asks deeper questions about the part fear plays in society. While that may seem out of place for a standard comic book movie, it isn't that far removed from the comic storylines themselves. It took inspiration from the comic book series The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, though it followed a different story. Bruce Wayne wrestles with the existential threat Superman represents to humanity. Batman vs. Superman digs into moral ambiguity, fear-based reactions, and the human side of heroes. This approach may have surprised fans hoping for something lighter, but it gives the movie depth that ages well over time. Batman vs. Superman dives into the flaws of its heroes. It's more aligned with classic graphic novels, where a darker, older Batman faces a seemingly invincible Superman. This Batman is brutal and morally compromised. As a more jaded, cynical man, he is a departure from previous cinematic portrayals, but true to versions in the comics. Henry Cavill's Superman, meanwhile, faces isolation and public distrust, reflecting real-world fears and skepticism towards powerful figures. This dynamic forces them to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves. Critics expected a simpler story, but Batman vs. Superman took risks by redefining these heroes in complex, sometimes darker ways. Snyder has a reputation for beautiful visuals, and Batman vs. Superman is no exception. The epic scenes showing the clash between Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman's arrival in the final battle are visually striking and impressively choreographed. Snyder's eye for spectacle doesn't just create blockbuster moments, it builds tension and gravitas. The visual language here carries Snyder's signature style and complements the source material, making the screen look like a moving comic book page. It's something critics overlooked, but fans appreciate more in hindsight. Another criticism the movie faced was that it tried to do too much. Batman vs. Superman ultimately laid the groundwork for the DCEU, from Wonder Woman's introduction to the initial hints of Bruce looking to form Justice League. Snyder wove in pieces of the larger universe while still telling a standalone story. This approach gave fans a lot to look forward to, with Easter eggs pointing to Justice League and DC's larger mythology. The ambitious setup ultimately showed that DC was aiming for something massive, a cinematic universe that could contend with Marvel's dominance. So while Batman vs. Superman didn't win over everyone at first, it's clear that Snyder's ambitious, visually stunning, and thematically complex approach has aged well. For fans looking to dive deep, Batman vs. Superman offers layers that make it a standout film in the superhero genre, one that's truly underrated. What are your thoughts on Batman vs. Superman? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching ScreenRant.